Hello, my name's David Vigili, Professor of Nursing at the University of Winchester, and it's my pleasure to talk to you today about peristomal skin complications and why they're so important. Maintaining peristomal skin integrity is essential for individuals living with a stoma. Unfortunately, we know that peristomal skin complications, and particularly peristomal irritation, remains the most common complication experienced by over 70% of individuals living with an ostomy. This obviously has a negative impact on their quality of life and increases healthcare costs. Now, peristomal skin complications are commonly thought of as a form of moisture-associated skin damage, MASD. So what is moisture-associated skin damage? Well, the frequent exposure of the skin to excessive moisture can lead to skin breakdown and a number of distinct conditions. Now, moisture-associated skin damage is an umbrella term. It actually consists of 4 commonly encountered separate conditions, but they often coexist, which actually makes assessment quite difficult. And up until fairly recently, it hadn't really been included in the International Classification of Diseases, but now features in the most recent ICD-11. So in the picture here, you can see the 4 different types of moisture-associated skin damage. So we've got incontinence-associated dermatitis, intertrigo, peristomal dermatitis, which is what I'll be focusing on, and peri-wound dermatitis. Now, what we need to remember is that peristomal skin and peristomal dermatitis is actually caused by more than moisture alone. We know that contact with stoma effluent, particularly in patients with an ileostomy, where there's going to be very often a high degree of very liquid effluent, which is rich in proteolytic enzymes, is a key factor in causing skin breakdown. There's also mechanical injury. The frequent applying and removing of ostomy products can often lead to medical adhesive-related skin injury, now called MASI. There's also infection. The breakdown in the skin barrier can lead to bacterial infection, fungal infection, or viral infection. And also, individuals may react to any of the skincare products that they're using or appliances, although that's rare, and actually develop an allergic contact dermatitis. And also the person may suffer from pre-existing skin conditions such as eczema or psoriasis. The pie chart here shows that certainly in individuals with colostomy or ileostomy, irritant contact dermatitis, it's by far the most common complication. So we divide contact dermatitis into 2 types. I've just been mentioning irritant contact dermatitis, and that's a non-specific inflammatory reaction due to an irritant actually getting through the skin barrier that's broken down and will set off an inflammatory response. Whereas allergic contact dermatitis is due to an allergen, typically a foreign protein, which gets through the skin and actually interacts with specific immune cells, typically T cells, and we get a specific immune response. In terms of individuals with a stoma, that's quite rare. By far the commonest is the irritant contact dermatitis. Thinking about the mechanical trauma that an individual may suffer, so obviously there's the skin stripping due to the repeated application and removal of ostomy products, but there may be pressure exerted due to pressure of clothing actually on the ostomy product, or there may be shearing forces, again due to twisting of the ostomy product. Altogether actually can increase and lead to mechanical trauma. Now, how do we assess peristomal skin complications? So the images here show mild, moderate and severe presentations. There are numerous assessment tools available, and that's one of the problems. There are so many that it actually makes it very difficult to use a standardized one. It also relates to the here and now. So an assessment tool only assesses the skin condition at that point in time. It doesn't actually direct us to who may be at risk. So thinking about the images here, who's at risk of developing a peristomal skin complication? The simple answer is everybody in this picture. everybody with a stoma is at risk. So we need to work towards how can we identify those people who are at high risk. So back in 2020, we published a paper that was a large multinational survey of over 4,000 individuals living with a stoma that looked at the drivers of peristomal skin complications. So what was actually causing it? Because obviously if we can understand the drivers, we're some way to being able to develop risk assessment models and being able to target who might actually be at risk. You'll see from our data, the pie chart at the top here, that again, still over 70% of individuals report peristomal skin irritation. So thinking back, have we come that far? What can that actually lead to? It helps us identify how we can perhaps actually start to look at risk. Can we actually develop risk assessment models so we can be more targeted in our approach to our patients? We know there are problems with current assessment tools, leading to differences in reporting between patients and professionals. So comparison of studies, comparison of data is quite difficult. Therefore, patient and professional education is vital. Ultimately, we need to get it into our heads that reducing the risk is everybody's business. So it needs to be patient-centered, and it needs to be very much a multidisciplinary approach. And that needs to happen right from surgical approach, right the way through to ensuring equitable and easy access to specialist ostomy nurses for all individuals living with a stoma. Thank you.